guys, today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful granny square. It's quite easy to make. I know it doesn't look it, but it's not too bad. And remember, I'm still a beginner myself, and I don't really know many stitches. So this kind of thing you can use to either make a bag or a blanket or a tablecloth, whatever really. I might use it to make a cushion actually, because it looks really beautiful. Okay, so let's get started. So what I'm going to use here, and remember this is not something that you have to use because it all depends what size of the square you want. So for this one I used Drops Merino Extra Fine, and that's the recommended needle, and the recommended hook is 4mm, but I'm actually using 3.5mm. I just find it nicer. Okay, so we are going to start. So I'm going to start by making a slip knot. So the way I do it, I put the yarn here, hold it, and then hold it with the 2 fingers on the back, and then yarn over my pointer finger, and then hold it with the finger like so, and then over, under, twist, yarn over, and pull through. And that's my slip stitch. And I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I'm going to slip stitch into the very first chain. Slip stitch, there we go. So now I have a little ring that has a hole in it. So I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use triple crochets here, which is a British English term, and in American English it's double crochets. So I'm going to be working into the center of the circle, and I will put 11 triples into the center of the circle. And as I go along, I will be weaving this end in as well. So these stitches will be quite loose so that the circle is nice and even. So I'm going to yarn over, put the hook into the center of the circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's my first treble, and remember I'm weaving this end in as well. So yarn over, put the hook in the center, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And that's 2 trebles there. Yarn over, put the hook inside, hold the end yarn to weave in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's 3, and I'm going to do 8 more to have 11. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so I've done 11 triple crochets, but we also have this chain 3 here, which is going to count as a stitch. So essentially we have 12 stitches in the circle. So I'm now going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. So not the first stitch, but the top of chain 3 right here. So 1, 2, 3, just here, and slip stitch. Like so. Okay, so now I'm going to do a cluster. So I'm going to use 4 half triples to do a cluster. So this is more complicated. Well, it's less complicated than it sounds. It just sounds really quite bad, but it's really fairly easy. So I'm going to keep this chain quite loose over here. I'm going to yarn over and put the hook in the exact same stitch where the chain is, the same stitch. I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And just keep it there. Again, yarn over, put the hook in the same space, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, put the hook in the same space, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, put the hook in the same space, yarn over and pull through. So we have all that on the hook. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through everything together. Now this might be a bit tricky, it might need a little wiggle, but it will work in the end. And then we're going to have really nice cluster. This is our first cluster. Now we're going to chain one and do another cluster. So we're going to go in the very next stitch, so right here. I know it looks like it might have been used, but it hasn't. So you're going to in there and do another cluster of 4 half trebles. So yarn over, put the hook in, yarn over, pull through. Again, I'll do it again because it didn't really work, I got caught. So again, yarn over, put the hook in, yarn over, pull through. That's the first one. Yarn over, put the hook in, yarn over, pull through. The second. Yarn over, hook in the same space, yarn over, pull through. Third. Yarn over, hook in the same space, yarn over, pull through. Now when you put the hook in for the 4th time, it is a bit tricky and you do need to wiggle a bit, but it does work. And then just yarn over and pull through all of them, including the chain. Okay? So we have 2 clusters now done. And then we're going to chain 1 more, and we're going to do another cluster in the next stitch. So yarn over, put the hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, hook in the same space, yarn over, pull through. That's 2. Yarn over, hook in the same space, yarn over, pull through. That's 3. Yarn over, hook in the same space, yarn over, pull through. That's 4. And again, yarn over and pull through all of them together. So we have 3 clusters now, and that's what we want. And now we're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to do another set of clusters in the next stitches. So you're not skipping anything, we're going to go in the next stitch along. So yarn over, put the hook in, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, put the hook in, yarn over, pull through. So that's 2, 3, 4, all in the same space. And now this is a little bit more tricky because we have this little tail here. So if you want to, if it's easy, you can just hold on to these chains as well, so that when you pull through, it goes straight through the right chain. There we go. So that's our space there, and then chain 1 and do another cluster in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1 and another cluster in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through, and another chain. Oh no, so we've got 3 clusters now, so we need to do 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're doing another set of clusters. In the next stitch we're doing 1 cluster, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm going to pull this to make sure that it goes through the right chain. a bit wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. It's not, there we go. So that's the first cluster, chain 1. We're doing another cluster in the next stitch, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull through all. Sometimes it doesn't work, so I'm just gonna go back and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so in this case, it's really important they have a good hook. So I really like these hooks. But sometimes they just get tangled and the yarn gets tangled. So then we chain 1 again and do the third cluster in this set. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull through, and then we need 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're doing the last cluster now. So in the next stitch, 1 cluster, 3 and 4. Chain 1, and the second cluster in the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 1, and the last cluster in the last stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then wiggle it through, and now we're going to do the last 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm going to slip stitch in the top of the first cluster. So this is our chain, we don't count this. This is the top of the first cluster here. So we're going to slip stitch into this space. There you go. So this is the first 2 rounds. I think this is looking quite pretty already. Right, so now on to the next round. First thing we're going to do is slip stitch into the first space over here. So not into the stitch above, but into the space. So we're going to slip stitch. There we go. And now we're going to do our first cluster into that space. So yarn over. Remember to leave this chain quite loose on the hook. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1. Another cluster in the next space. So between second and third cluster. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then take it all through. And we have 2 clusters ready here. And now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do 5 triple crochets into this space here. So not into the chains above, but into the actual space here. So 5 triple crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I'm going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and then do another cluster between the first 2 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we're going into the space between, not the chains, not the stitches, into the space between the clusters. Now, something is holding on there, so I'm going to take this off again and start from scratch. So this space here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go, that went nicely. And then pull it through this stitch here, through the chain, and then chain 1 and do the next cluster in the next space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and pull through including the stitch. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and we're doing 5 trebles into the space. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2, 1, 2, and the next cluster just here. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, and the next cluster in the next space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, something got caught. I'm going to take it off and do the cluster again. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So it can be a bit frustrating, but only if you let it. So don't let it. Just go again, and it's going to be fine. So we have 2 clusters, and now we're going to chain 2 again. 1, 2, and do 5 trebles in the next space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 2, 1, 2, and the next cluster. That's our last set of clusters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull it through if it lets you. Wiggle, wiggle. Yes, okay. And chain 1 and do the next cluster in the next space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull it through, and the last chain 2 here, and then we're gonna have, well, we're gonna have next 2 chains at the very end. But first, our 5 trebles into the space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the last 2 chains, 1, 2, and slip stitch into the top of the cluster. So not the chain here, but the top of the cluster. Slip stitch, there we go. And this is what we have so far. And now on to the next round. Okay, so like in the previous round, we're going to slip stitch into the space between the clusters. So slip stitch, make sure that this stitch is it's quite tight, slip stitch into the space. And then we're going to do 1 cluster in that same space. 2, 3, 4. Oops. I'll do it again because something dropped and I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm going to start from the beginning. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. There we go. So that's our first cluster, and this is the only cluster on this side because you can see we have 3, 2, 1. So now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we're going to go in this stitch here. So we're going to skip the chains here and we're going to into the first stitch of the corner, and we're going to do triple crochet in each stitch. So triple crochet in this one, 1, in the next one 2, triple crochet as well, in the next one 3, in the next one 4, in the next one 5, and in the next one 6. That's the last stitch here. 6. So we have 6 triple crochets on the corner there, and now we're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we're going to do one cluster in the space here. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, and it's still holding something. Okay, so let's do the cluster again. As you can see, we're doing a little tower. So we have 3, 2 and then 1 in the middle. So we're going to do that one now. 1, 2, 3 and 4. There we go. And now we're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to do 6 stitches across these stitches here. So we're going to skip these 2 chains and then go into the first stitch of the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and do another cluster in the top here between the last 2 clusters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6 stitches again, starting from the first stitch on the corner. 1 triple crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, and then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're doing our last cluster in the center here. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do the last 6 stitches on the corner. So treble crochets on the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one here is quite tricky, but we are going to get in there. There we go, 6. And the last 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to, as usual, slip stitch into the top of the cluster. There you go. So this is what it looks like so far, and I know it's very round. So if that's what you want to keep, you could easily stop here, or you could just easily go round from here and just keep it as nice as it is here. But what we're going to do, we want a square, so we are going to do a square. So now we are going to move on to the last round and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 4 trebles in the space here. So 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they are all in the space that we have here. Then we're going to do 3 treble crochets, 1 in each stitch, starting from the very first stitch on here. So 1, again, 1, 2, and 3. And now this is how we're going to create a square. We are going to put 5 treble crochets into the next stitch. So 5 treble crochets into 1 stitch. So 1, 2 in the same, 3 in the same stitch, 4 in the same stitch, and 5 in the same stitch. And then we're going to do 1 triple crochet in each stitch for the next 3 stitches. So 1 in the next stitch, 1 in the next stitch, and 1 in this last stitch here. This last stitch is always going to be quite tricky, but it is there. So be patient. Okay, and now we're going to do 4 triples in this space here, So 4 triple crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 triple crochets. And then 1 treble on the top of the cluster. So there's 1 stitch there, we're going to put 1 treble in the top of the cluster. And then we're going to do 4 trebles in the space again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to do 3 triple crochets, 1 in each stitch, starting from the very first stitch here. 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to do our corner again, so 5 triple crochets in one stitch, so 5 triples in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's our corner. And now we're going to do 3 triples, 1 in each stitch. So 1, 2, and 3, which is quite tight, but it is there. 3. Okay, and now we're going to do 4 triple crochets in this space. 1, 2, oh dear. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 treble on the top of the cluster in the stitch on top of the cluster, and then 4 triples in the space again. And then 3 triples, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And now we got to the next corner, so we need to do 5 triples in the next stitch. So 5 triple crochets all in one stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then 1 triple in each stitch for the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and the last very tight one, 3. And we're back to the space, so 4 triples in the space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 triple on top of the cluster, and 4 in the next space. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 3 triples, 1 in each stitch. 1, 2, and 3, and we're doing our increase, so 5 triples in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now we have the next 3 stitches, 1 triple in each stitch. 1, 2, and 3, and the last four triples in the space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so the last thing to do is the slip stitch. So we're going to slip stitch into the top of chain 3. There we go, and then we're going to fasten off, and that's our granny square finished. Now let me just show you actually. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. So don't be worried if it's not proper square. Because what you need to do is what they call blocking. That's the magic of the iron. So you can't really iron yarn, but blocking is when you apply steam at a height and then try to shape your work to what you want. Now this is the this is the video that I've been using, but I haven't really looked for much. I just put crochet blocking in YouTube, and this is the first thing that came up. If you're not happy with this video, do look for something else, but please do check. If you don't know how to do it, look it up first so that you don't destroy your work or hurt yourself. Okay, so as you can see, this is now finished, and if I'm honest, I do like this shape. So if I were to make, I don't know, coasters or table mats, I would probably just let them be a natural shape. But if I want to make a blanket or a cushion or a bag, I would have to shape them. Okay, so this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.